project, we have titled it Servant Leadership. We had felt like this project was kind of like the culmination of everything that we had learned throughout the class. So we just kind of put together the different ideas that we had learned, the connections that we had made to kind of tie it all together. And as we were talking and reflecting, it kind of felt like servant leadership was our biggest takeaway, and it went kind of hand in hand with our service project. So that's what this is to us.
And you know, after 10 weeks of being together, we created a great partnership, but we also want to thank Lisa. She's the executive director for the Will County Children's Advocacy Center. And thank you, Lisa, for letting us be part of your team and your mission of providing hope, healing, and justice to abused children.
So when we first met with our project leads, they gave us their primary challenges, and it was quite a hefty list of things that they would like to see happen, but all important. So what we had to do is kind of prioritize them in regards to what was really urgent that needs to get done now, and that was their need for stuffed animals. We'll tell you a little bit more, but every child who walks through the door of their organization receives a stuffed animal during their treatment. And because of COVID, people were at home knitting blankets and sending them to their organization. So they had 1,000 or more blankets, and they had run out of stuffed animals. So goal number 1, find some more stuffed animals. Goal number 2, they have a lot of marketing materials geared towards the people they serve, but not so much about educating the public. So as we went along the process and learned more about them, we thought, wouldn't it be great if we compiled that into one sheet that they can have and use for months to come. And then the final and the biggest challenge was brand awareness. The Will County CAC often gets confused with CASA. They are not CASA, and they said, you have to help us tell the community that we are not CASA. So moving forward, you'll find out exactly how it is that we accomplish these objectives and the techniques that we used along the way.
All right, so as Bettina said, our first objective was who really are they? And we set out to try to help them come up or take some of the materials and statements that they already had and used frequently and make sure that they went out to the public in a more concise way. So first of all, they're not CASA, they're not court-appointed special advocates. They actually work with the forensic interviews as part of the prosecution, right? So they actually help bring those offenders to justice. You have to have a referral to work in those, to get in with their services, but once there, the services are free for everybody who's there. And their tagline that they really want to make sure everybody remembers is hope, healing, and justice for abused children. But we want to let Jackie and Lorraine tell you a little bit more about that.
The Advocacy Center works to support The Will County Children's Advocacy Center works to support victims of childhood abuse and neglect and to provide evidence to aid in the prosecution of the offenders. We provide free services for hope, healing, and justice for abused children.
For more information, please reach us at www.willcountycac.org. You can also call us at 815-774-4565, or for Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, it's at Will County CAC.
So a few important stats. There are 222 reports of abuse every day in Illinois. 1 in 10 children will be abused before the age of 18. And then in 2019 alone, over 14,000 received services.
So like she stated earlier, our first initiative was to get some stuffed animals in the hands of these children. Looking at those numbers, they never have enough, so any continued donations are obviously accepted, and thank you for those that did bring the stuffed animals. These little furry guys become their security blanket, their comfort. They hold them when they're talking to the advocates. They, you know, are basically their loved one at that time. We did have various locations for drop-offs, Posh Hospitality Hotels, Newmark Credit Union, the Joliet Chamber office all had drop-off locations. We also accepted cash donations, checks, and Venmo, so thank you to all of those who did that.
of our credit unions sponsored a stuffed toy drive for CAC. We had 2 locations that we were collecting donations from the community. It was our Crest Hill location and our Joliet location. We did really well with that. I also collected, we had an all-staff training day where a lot of the employees brought in donations from the other branches. We have multiple branches. So we did collect a lot of the stuffed toys for them, and also we got monetary donations, and those were sent through Venmo, which was great. And not only was the drive successful, but we also were able to get the word out on who CAC really is.
Before we, oh, sorry. Can we talk about the panda?
Yes, I don't know if the slide was there, but.
Is there a slide
you know,
coming
yes.
later? Oh, okay.
Yes.
It's very important.
Just to quickly touch on kind of how we promoted the drive to community and all of you guys. We had several social media posts just within our group and our own networks, and then the chamber was able to help us out and do an e-blast for that as well. So that contributed to the success.
And in IKEA, we believe that a better life for every day, for every people, for the many. So we are donating 1,300 stuffed animals to contribute to the toy drive.
So for the fact sheet, as we've been discussing, a big thing for the CAC is helping create awareness of who they are. I myself didn't really know anything about the CAC until I got involved in this project. As Fatina had mentioned, a lot of their materials they hand out are for the victims and for the victims' families. There wasn't really so many, pieces that you would give out to the general public. So we went ahead and we put together this fact sheet. It's a simple 1-page, gives a good summary, who they are, what it is they do, has some key stats, and just as important as anything, it helps explain what it is you can do to help. And this is something that they can use going forward, so they can hand them out to people at events, they can leave them in public places. One example of something they've been tossing around is doing pizza drive, for example. And so that would be just simply a day where local businesses can order pizzas, a percentage of the profits, and the delivery tips would go towards the CAC. But then on the boxes, they can include the 1-page fact sheet, and it's just an easy way to create a conversation and just another way to bring more awareness to them.
So the final task, so we got the stuffed animals, we put together a fact sheet, and so our continued large focus becomes brand awareness. And to really get the story out that they're not CASA. And the content development and the media exposure that went into this portion of our program, we will say will continue to benefit the CAC for a long time to come.
So this was the radio interview at University of St. Francis. It's probably personally the most fun part of the project for me. But what you heard earlier, that audio, that was a public service announcement that we recorded this day at USF, and that's going to be replayed ongoing through the end of summer. So another great opportunity to bring awareness on an ongoing basis. Other than that, we did do a 30-minute sit-down interview with Jackie and Lorraine. We wish they were here with us, but they're busy and doing important stuff as well. Really just interview about who the CAC is, what they do, what makes them unique, and of course how people can support their organization. And both of those two things are audio recorded, video recorded for the CAC to use to further promote themselves and bring awareness.
So after the radio, the other half of our media support was the video. Ladies and gentlemen, this group right here has actually filmed a commercial. They got, with the help of Shannon, who is tied to USF, we were brainstorming the morning that we were all at the casino. Like, what are we gonna do? We gotta step it up. I was like, are you guys comfortable on film? Can we do selfie videos? And we're not of that generation, so we're all like, but then she let us know that there's a TV club and they have a TV studio. So the process just kind of started rolling. We put together a video script, and I'll let Scott tell you a little bit more about the production side of things.
Yeah, well, what we were able to produce was 5 separate video commercials, 2 60-second commercials and then 3 30-second commercials, and a special shout out to Marthia here for doing one of the 60-second commercials in Spanish. So we're very proud of how they turned out. It was a massive collaborative process with our whole team and Glenn and the students from USF as well. But again, what we were able to provide with the PSA, radio interview, the commercials here, really an arsenal of media production that they can use moving forward to, again, bring more awareness and enhance their mission. And without further ado, we'd love to broadcast one of these wonderful commercials for you.
Every day, there are more than 200 cases of child sexual abuse, violence, or neglect reported in Illinois. Every day, every day, every day.
The victims are often too afraid or ashamed to tell anyone as they face interviews by police, lawyers, and doctors.
A potential trauma all in itself. That's where the Will County Children's Advocacy Center stands for the children and gives them a voice.
They provide a safe environment where the children can tell their stories to a trained interviewer who stands for them in the court system.
Will County CAC also helps the courts bring perpetrators to justice, putting them behind bars. But we cannot do it alone.
Whether you hear about it or not, children are being abused, exploited, and neglected in our community.
Please join our frontline responders in providing these children with the support they need to heal and to escape the cycle of abuse.
Please donate to the Will County Children's Advocacy Center.
Thank you everyone for your attention on this, and also we have a couple